Should migrants that are in the country legally be barred from owning firearms? One Utah Republican thinks so. Let's talk about it. Hey Wolverines, my name is John Crump, and if you like hard-hitting stories and you want more, you can head over to my Patreon, locals, or just get a channel membership. Any little bit helps. You can also subscribe, like the video, and comment. That really does help out, and it's totally free. Now let's go ahead and talk about what is going down in Utah. There is a Republican representative named Trevor Lee. Mr. Lee is from Layton. Mr. Lee just introduced a bill that isn't pro-gun. You might disagree with me, and that's fine, but you also would be wrong. Actually, I'm just kidding. In Utah, illegal immigrants cannot have guns because they are in the country illegally. And just for the record, I disagree with that. I'll explain my stance on that a little bit later in the video. Mr. Lee doesn't think that the current law goes far enough. The Republican wants the ban on firearm ownership to extend to migrants who are in the state legally, specifically those that are asylum seekers or those that have temporary protected status. Before you all yell at me about people sneaking into the country to declare asylum, that isn't who he is targeting. Those are people that are already banned from owning firearms. And yes, the system is broken. I admit that. But the people Lee is talking about is the people that did everything by the book. They did everything the right way. They didn't sneak into the country across the southern border. They applied for asylum and was granted entry. Like I said, everything by the book. We always preach that people must go through the proper legal channels to get asylum. And these people did just that. They went to the embassies or some type of entry port and filled out the paperwork and waited until they got their status granted. They waited for an answer and were granted admission into this great nation. Mr. Lee says his bill closes a loophole. I guess exercising your God-given right after working through the system legally is a loophole to him. He claims that the bill is needed to ensure Utah members of Tre de Aruga, I don't know how to say that, but it's the Venezuelan gang that took over all the apartment buildings. He says that the bill is used to prevent them from getting guns. And that got me wondering, how many Venezuelan gang members are running around the main streets of Utah? Well, luckily for me, there's a lot of research out there, and I started researching it and found out not many. Although there might be some members of the Venezuelan gang mixed in with all the Mormons, their presence in Utah is almost non-existent, according to every type of law enforcement source that I can find. But Mr. Lee insists his bill is to help fight crime, like he's Batman. This is what he said. This will have a massive impact on that when speaking about organized crime. You have had individuals who are using the system against us to come and then possess potentially a firearm. What the hell? And say, hey, I can have it because I'm an asylum seeker. The bill passed through the House Judiciary Committee with unanimous support. Basically, every Republican, every Democrat voted for it. Now it moves to the House of Representatives, where it is expected to pass. The Republicans control the House in Utah, and this is a Republican bill, so it is expected to get those votes. And Democrats, they just hate guns. Now let's discuss my stance, and this is going to be fun. There's a right to bear arms, and that is not an American right. It is a human right granted to everyone. It is given to us by God, the creator of heaven and earth. The government has no authority to restrict the natural rights of anyone, whether they are legal or illegal. Here's the thing about rights. They apply to everyone. I might not like you. In fact, I might hate you. Just kidding. I love you all. Well, most of you. There's some that I probably hate out there, but mostly I love you guys. But I can't strip you of your rights. There's an old saying that says, I might not like what you are saying, but I will defend your right to say it with my life. And that's the type of stance we need to take here on gun rights. The Bill of Rights grants you nothing. It is a document of negative liberties. Let me go ahead and explain that a little bit. You have your rights and no one can take those away from you. What the Bill of Rights does is tell the government that you better not cross that line and try to strip away the natural rights of people. And yet here we are. We see the government doing this all the time, over and over and over and over again. Enough is enough, not one more inch. This bill is an encroachment on a human's natural right. I don't care that it's Republican supported. This is an anti-gun bill. It is gun control through and through. And using the fear of Venezuelan gang members to ram it through is just another tactic used by gun grabbers. And yes, it is introduced by a Republican, but that Republican also supports gun control because they back this bill. So therefore, they are a gun grabber. Anyone who votes for it is a gun grabber because they want to strip another human being of their natural rights. Look, you're either pro-liberty or you're anti-liberty. There's no two ways about it. Which one are you?